All right, if you've been searching, can myEcon help couples financially? myEcon for couples? Can myEcon help married couples with money? How couples can get on the same page financially? Or can myEcon help with household financial stress? This video is going to be for you. Make sure you pay attention, all right? Because money problems don't just stay on paper. They show up in tone. They show up in tension. They show up in silence. They show up in arguments that aren't really about what people say they are about. A lot of couples are not fighting about groceries. They're fighting about pressure. They're not fighting about the car payment. They're fighting about fear. They're not fighting about the budget. They're fighting about the feeling that life is getting more expensive and neither one of them feels fully in control. That's real feeling. And once two people start carrying financial stress in different ways, things get messy. One person wants to talk about it. The other one avoids it. One person wants to plan. The other person gets defensive. One person is trying to hold it together while the other person is just trying not to think about it. That gap causes damage. So let me get straight into this. Can myEcon help couples get on the same page financially? Yes. For the right couple, it absolutely can. But not because it's some magic relationship fix. Not because one system suddenly makes two people agree on everything. And not because money stress disappears overnight, just because a couple decides to do something different. It can help because a lot of couples are not just dealing with a money shortage. They're dealing with misalignment, confusion, avoidance, and different money habits living under the same roof. That combination creates pressure, and pressure always creates leaks somewhere. Sometimes it leaks into arguments. Sometimes it leaks into silence. Sometimes it leaks into resentment. Sometimes it leaks into that heavy feeling in the hours when nobody wants to talk about money, but everybody feels it anyway. That's why this question matters. Now, the first way that myEcon can help couples is through giving them a clearer financial picture to react to. A lot of couples are not really having one conversation about money. They're having two private conversations in their own heads. One person thinks things are worse than the other realizes. One person thinks everything will somehow work out. One person is tracking mentally. The other is just trying to get through the week. That disconnect is dangerous because when two people are reacting to two totally different versions of reality, they're not really working together. They're just coexisting under pressure. So when something helps a couple get a more honest picture of what is actually happening financially, it matters because clarity can calm conflict. Not always immediately, but it gives both people something real to look at instead of just reacting to stress blindly. The second way that myEcon can help couples is through making money feel more discussable. This is huge. A lot of couples don't actually hate budgeting. They hate what budgeting conversations make them feel. It makes people feel judged, cornered, blamed, embarrassed, powerless, misunderstood. That's why so many couples avoid the subject until things get worse, because the conversation does not feel safe. It feels loaded. So anything that helps shift the conversation from who is messing up to what is really happening and what do we do about it can be powerful. That changes the tone of things because now it's less about pointing fingers and more about facing the same direction. And for a lot of couples, that shift is way overdue. Now, the third way that myEcon can help couples is through breaking the pattern where one person carries the whole financial weight mentally. This happens a lot in households. One person becomes the emotional accountant. They are the one thinking about the bills. They're thinking about the debt, the next payment, the pressure, thinking about what happens if one more thing goes wrong. And the other person may care, but they're not carrying it the same way. That imbalance creates resentment fast because when one person feels like they are carrying all the awareness and all the worry, they start feeling alone, even though they're not physically alone. And that's painful. That becomes painful. So when something helps both people engage the financial reality more honestly, it matters because shared awareness feels very different than silent burden. So let me ask you something here real quick, and I want a real answer in the comments because I think this is going to hit a lot of people. In most relationships, what causes more money stress? Not enough income or two people handling money in completely different ways? Drop that answer in the comments for me because I think a lot of people blame the money amount when the deeper issue is that the two people are not truly functioning as a team. Now, the fourth way that myEcon can help couples is through helping them see that financial peace is not just about earning more income. This is important. A lot of couples think the only answer is more money. And sometimes that's true, but a lot of the time, more money alone does not fix a couple who still avoid talking, react emotionally, or hide spending, or guess instead of plan, or live with totally different financial priorities. That's why some households make more and still feel chaotic. The income changed, but the dynamic did not. That is where people get fooled because they think the number is the whole problem. Sometimes the bigger problem is that the relationship has no shared rhythm financially, no shared language, no shared visibility or discipline, no shared direction. And that matters because a house can have income and still have no peace. And the fifth way that myEcon can help couples is through reducing financial blame. When money gets tight, people start attaching meaning to everything. Now every purchase feels symbolic. Every bill feels personal. Every mistake feels like character evidence. Every conversation starts sounding like accusation, and it gets exhausting. And once a couple gets stuck in blame mode, even small money issues feel bigger than they are. So if something can help shift that conversation away from "you did this" toward "here is where we are and here is where we need to change." And that matters because blame burns energy. Clear thinking preserves it. Now, most couples need more preserved energy, not emotional fires. Now, the sixth way that myEcon can help couples is through giving them a starting point instead of endless tension. A lot of couples know things are off. They know the stress is there. They know the system in the house is not working well. They know the pressure is real, but they do not know where to begin. And when people don't know where to begin, they usually do one of three things: avoid it, argue about it, or keep trying to survive around it. That's why a clear starting point matters. Because once people have a place to begin, the whole situation feels less shapeless. And shapeless financial pressure is one of the worst kinds because it is everywhere, but nowhere specific enough to fix. So yes, a lot of couples do not just need more motivation. They need an actual place to start. Now, I want to talk about who this is most likely to help. myEcon is going to be a strong fit for the couple that is tired of feeling financial pressure in the background of everything. The couple that knows the tension is real. The couple that needs more honesty, more visibility, and more teamwork around money. The couple that is willing to stop treating money like a landmine and start dealing with it like adults. That couple can benefit. Who's it probably not going to help much? The couple where one or both people refuse to engage honestly. The couple where one person wants to change and the other wants denial. The couple that wants peace without truth. The couple that wants results without communication. That situation is going to stay hard no matter what tool they touch, because no system can force teamwork on people who are committed to disconnection. That needs to be said clearly. No system out there can force teamwork on people who are committed to disconnection. So, let me answer this question directly, like I always do. Can myEcon help couples get on the same page financially? Yes. If what they need is more clarity, better conversations, stronger shared awareness, and a more honest starting point for handling money together. No, if they want a shortcut while refusing to deal with the communication and mindset issues that keep making money stressful in the first place. That's the real answer. And honestly, this is why more couples need to stop asking only, how do we make more money? And start asking, how do we stop letting money keep dividing how we think, how we react and function together? That's the deeper question, because money stress is rarely just about dollars. It becomes a relationship atmosphere. And if a couple can change the atmosphere, they can start changing a lot more than just the numbers. So if you're wondering whether myEcon could help a couple get more aligned financially, here's the truth. It can help. If both people are willing to get honest, look at the same picture, and start acting more like a team than two stressed out individuals sharing bills. That is where the value is. So if this video helped you, hit that subscribe button, because this playlist is being built to break down myEcon in real world, no BS ways to answer the questions that myEcon is bringing up in people as it becomes explosively known recently. And again, answer this in the comments for me. In most relationships, What causes more money stress? Not enough income or two people handling money in completely different ways? That's a conversation a lot of people would probably like to have. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.